Are you worried about the future of the U.S. economy? With so much uncertainty in the air, it's natural to fret about the security of your retirement savings. But there's one asset that stands the test of time: gold. For centuries, gold has been a hedge against market volatility and economic instability. With a gold IRA from the Noble Gold Investments, you can harness the power of precious metals to help protect your financial future. By rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into a self directed gold IRA, you can enjoy the potential for long term growth and instability. Diversify your portfolio with a tangible asset that has real value. Setting up your gold IRA has never been easier with Noble Gold Investments' streamlined process and expert guidance. This election year, don't let the election volatility and uncertainty keep you up at night. Vote for the timeless safety of gold and silver in 2024. Noble Gold Investments will give you up to 10 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar if you open a qualified account. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com right now. That is noblegoldinvestments.com, and make sure that you remember there's always a risk of investment. There's no guarantee of any kind. Well, 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 good damn afternoon. Whoo! Did you guys see that shit last night? I'm talking about the interview or the beating, the curbing of Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare, last night on Fox News at the hands of Brett Baer. Wow. So if you're thinking, okay, Kamala Harris she was finally forced by her handlers, and we're going to get into how much power her handlers have in just a few minutes. But she was finally forced to go on Fox after being in the comfortable, warm bosom of the left-wing mainstream mediocres. She branched out, went on to Fox, went into hostile territory. And actually, if you watched it, it wasn't hostile at all. From Fox's end, all the hostility came from her. Very professional with her, very kind. Nothing like Trump receives when he goes on the left-wing media, when he went to the National Association of Black journalists in Chicago. It's never a hostile environment when they come to sit down with a conservative or right-wing media or Republican or whatever, and the opposite of them. And then there's talk of her going on the Joe Rogan podcast. I hear that Trump said he's going on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's going to be a good one. He was just on the PBD podcast with Patrick Bet-David and his crew. So that was cool. But I can't wait to see Trump sit down with Rogan, because Rogan is not conservative. He has some residue of leftist dumb shit still in his brain, but he's not for the bullshit that's going on. So it'll be interesting to see him sit down with Trump. But Joe Rogan does some long form interviews, at least an hour and a half. But you're talking on average probably 2.5 hours, 3 hours sitting down with Joe Rogan. Now, and again, I'm sure Joe Rogan will be very extremely professional when dealing with Kamala Harris. But the interview last night with Brett Baer was about 25 minutes. And it was a runny shit sandwich. She couldn't get through a half an hour with Brett Baer. How is she going to get through at least an hour and a half with Joe Rogan, if she does it? Now, if I had to paint a picture, if you are blind and all you could do was hear Kamala Harris, let me paint a picture for you. The interview she did last night with Brett Baer was, if you took that interview and you wrapped it in a train wreck, then you wrap that train wreck in the Hindenburg. Then I want you to take that interview wrapped in a train wreck, wrapped in the Hindenburg. I want you to take all of that and wrap it inside of a nuclear explosion. Mushroom cloud and all. August 8th, 1945 type shit. So we have the interview and the train wreck and the Hindenburg and the nuclear explosion. Then I want you guys who are watching and or listening, I want you for 7 days straight. I want you to eat everything under that heat lamp. All you're going to eat is everything under the heat lamp at 7-Eleven. Hot dogs, pieces of pizza, those fried egg roll burrito things. That's your diet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a week. And yogurt and Mountain Dew. And after eating that for an entire week, I want you to put on a Depends, the same ones that Sloppy Joe wears. And then I want you to fill that diaper with what I'm sure is a radioactive, bubbly, foamy shit. And then I want you to take that interview and the train wreck and the Hindenburg and the nuclear explosion. I want you to wrap all of that in that adult human shitty diaper. Then I want you to set it on fire and stick it up Dylan Mulvaney's ass until he goes, ooh. And then that isn't even half as bad as what we saw last night on Fox News. Holy shit, that was bad. And since I can't tell you how bad it was, I'm going to show you some clips of how bad it was. She couldn't answer a question. Brett Baer trying to get her to answer a simple question was like trying to put a cat in the bathtub. You see those videos where the cat, both its arms, its legs are out, claws. You got to like push, you got to grab it and try to push it down in the water. The cat ain't having it. It was like trying to put a cat in the bathtub. Her favorite baseball team has to be the Dodgers, because she was slipping and rolling, dipping from those questions. It was embarrassing. And what was her answer for everything? Her campaign slogan, I think her campaign slogan is turning the page or moving on or some shit, like a better tomorrow. But I think they should change it to, but Donald, because her answer to everything was, but Donald Trump. Yeah, but Donald Trump. That's all they have is but Donald. That's all they have. An opportunity economy. Not sure what the fuck that is. There was a time when Trump was in charge where we all had an opportunity in this economy. But she's going to create an opportunity economy, whatever the fuck that means. But her campaign slogan should be, but Donald. Because that's all she had to say. But Donald, woman. I don't get it, guys. It was absolutely terrible. It's everything you thought it was and then some. It's everything you thought it was, but worse. You couldn't have scripted. If somebody put you in, okay, I need you guys to write a script for the worst interview ever. You have 24 hours in this room. You're locked in here. You got a bathroom, you got food, you got water. Smoke them if you got them. But I need you to write a script for the worst interview ever. Not from the journalist standpoint, the person asking the questions, but the interviewee. I need it to be complete dog shit. Can you do it? No. No way in hell they could have come up with anything worse than this. But don't listen to me. Listen to her.
There are critics who look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things.
There's more to say. I have much more to say.
Madam Vice President, and they're giving me a hard wrap.
Well, I thank you for the time.
Now, you saw that. Man, they're wrapping me hard here. I hope you had a good time. I hope you got to say everything you wanted to say. Oh, I have plenty more to say. So why didn't you say it? Are you not the sitting Vice President of the United States of America? Could you not tell your staff, like Nate Dogg would say, hold up. Hold up. I have more than I want to say. Hold up, staff. I'm in charge. I'm the HBWIC. I'm the head black woman in charge. We're not going anywhere. I'm not done sitting down with Brett Hume. So I need all of you, the entire staff. I need you to go in the kitchen and find a cold glass of shut the fuck up and take a sip because mama's not done. But did she do that? No. People off camera, stop. No, please. We cannot survive this. Stop. Off camera, he says, I'm being wrapped hard. So if you are the sitting vice president of the United States, hold on, my shoe came off. There we go. And we're supposed to believe that you are going to run this country, not only run this country, but improve this country, get it back to where it was. We're going to move on, as you say, and you're going to bring down the cost of living and improve the economy and blah, blah, blah. And you're going to tell Iran what for. He asked her, who's our number one threat in the world? That dumbass, that vapid ding dong said Iran. Iran is our number one problem in the world. That's our number one enemy in the world. And that further proves that China is in charge because China probably called her on the same phone that Xi Jinping called Sloppy Joe on and said, Kamala, you watch your mouth. He asked you who the number one threat in the world is. You better say somebody else. You say China and it's your ass. That fool said Iran. But if you are the sitting vice president, you want to be the president, you can't tell your staff, hold up. Maybe because Kamala's not in charge. Maybe because she's just like Sloppy Joe. How many times did Sloppy Joe say, oh, I got to go. They won't let me see this. Let me check with my people. You think he was joking? He was telling the truth. And speaking of Sloppy Joe, he asked her, when did you know that the contents of Sloppy Joe Biden's cranium was Quaker oatmeal? When did you know that if you popped his top and you looked inside, there would be a dead rat inside of his head? When did you know that? If you take flour, brown sugar, and white sugar, a little vanilla, not too much, a little baking soda, some chocolate chips. Kamala, what are you talking about? I'm asking you about Sloppy Joe. Why are you reciting a chocolate chip cookie recipe? She might as well have been. She wasn't answering the questions. You ever walk through somebody's backyard and there's a bunch of dog shit they haven't cleaned up? How you're carefully stepping here and where am I going to go next and watch out on what? That's how she was doing when he was asking her questions. She was stepping around. No. What else you got, Kamala?
You're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. Mm-hmm. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and
there it is. There's the hands. I will bring my life experience to the White House. I will bring a brand new brand of leadership in the White House. Did Kamala, she said she worked at McDonald's. Did she ever work on a tarmac? Did she ever wave the planes in like this? Was she ever on a tarmac? Because that's what she's doing. I bring my own life experience. I've said this before. She reminds me of the character Brian Callen would play on Mad TV, where he was like this, going those late night infomercial where he's trying to sell you on a kit that will improve your earning potential if you buy my book. That's what she reminds me of. And of course, Kamala Bot 3000 showed up. Thank you for having me, Brett Baer. I am the Kamala Bot 3000. I am the only person on this ticket who has prosecuted transnational criminals for trafficking drugs, humans, and weapons. I am running out of battery. If you do not have a battery, I will run off of Franzia and Zoloft. Don't you worry. You are going to hear about the middle class family. You are going to hear about the opportunity economy, and you are going to hear about the transnational blah, blah bullshit. Go on.
Fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C.
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other.
Madam Vice
President. Not point fingers. God, I got 10 of them right here. I counted before I started. I have 10 fingers. I wouldn't dare point one of them at you because we know nobody can recover from having a finger pointed at them.
President, more than 70% of people
that is
tell
about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
You've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
There it is. And Donald has been running for office. Come on. Come on. That's what he said. 79% of Americans think that we are going in the wrong direction. That is almost 8 out of 10 Americans don't like where we are. No matter what you think, Kamala or anybody, any other politician, we don't like it. Almost 8 out of 10 of us don't like it. Fix that shit. We don't like what's on TV, so get your ass up, go over there and change the channel. Remember how it was back in the day when we were kids? Before you could speak into your remote, we were the remote. So you get your ass up, get over there and change what's on the TV because we don't like it. It doesn't matter what you think or what you like. We don't like it. 79% of us don't like it. And her answer was, well, Donald Trump's been running. Come on. Come on. The person who's going for the highest office in the land, that's her response to 79% of you not liking where your country is.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President,
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
But
people
you're the
have
lever of
become,
power.
but listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president, one that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous.
So he is unfit to serve. So now, isn't this some shit? Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. You guys have the nerve to say Trump is unstable. Trump is not with it. When you guys just removed sloppy Joe Biden. Anyway, where do I go? Those poor kids are just as smart as white kids. You have the nerve to fix your mouth and say Trump is not with it when sloppy Joe is your boy? Guys, I mean, it was a quick listen. Like I said, it was only 25 minutes because, of course, the handlers were like, cut that shit. I recommend that you check it out. Just to see how bad it was. And I'm talking from start to finish. Horrible. Think of how Trump performed when he goes into the hostile environments, which really are hostile, and how Kamala performed when Brett Baier wasn't even mean to her. Very professional. How in the fuck can that make it to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? I don't know. You tell me in the comments. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Give me a follow on X at Green_Jericho. Like and subscribe to my new channel, Green's House. I am Jericho Green, and man, I'm out.